that brings us to the Director of Schools report.
Thank you, Mr. Christian. I would like to bring one thing to your attention and talk about it before we get to it on new business, and that is the idea behind resident substitutes or side-assigned teachers. As you know, we've struggled with having enough substitutes going through COVID, but even before COVID, to be honest, we struggled with maintaining the adequate substitutes needed to cover vacancies from day to day. One of the ideas that we have creatively planned or thought around is the idea of hiring year-to-year teachers that would be stationed at each school for the purpose of filling vacancies on spur of the moment, or in the case of subs not being able to fill all the vacancies at those campuses. They would prioritize vacancies at their assigned sites. If vacancies are full and they are not needed there, then they would be pulled to other school sites or used on-site to support small group or individualized learning or any work at the campus that needs to be done. If not needed at their regular school site, they would be given time to travel to another school site for assistance if needed. We're looking at 2 subs assigned to each high school and to the K-8 campuses, and 1 sub at each elementary site. We would reevaluate the cost and effectiveness for the next year if approved this evening. We're just looking at implementing this idea for this school year. Cost to the budget would not exceed $110,000 above the sub cost, but we believe that having subs on campuses will actually result in a lessened expenditure for subs. So we would just add that to have it there in case needed. But again, we think that it would result in an overall savings. And to this point, I don't think in any of the 3 years that Melissa and I have worked on the budget together, we've ever exhausted a substitute line item in the budget to this current point, because we haven't had the subs necessary for all of the vacancies. COVID has definitely made this situation worse. There are people, when we were in the heart of it, that did not want to come in and sub. They didn't feel safe doing so, and not everybody can substitute at or feel comfortable substituting at every grade level. Some prefer elementary, some prefer high school, and some only want to work with middle and high school, for example. So if it pleases the board, I would like to ask you to consider it throughout the evening, and then when we get to new business, I would like to entertain a recommendation or action on this recommendation, and we will follow course as deemed by the board.
It's open for a motion.
I know this has been brought up several times. I think the idea is good. I think as long as that padding happens, and I guess we'll be able to see that after the first year of this. It's not a exceeding budget line item, and I don't think it's going to help. So.
And I can second that because I see the need. I mean, I know that we were moving assistants, we were moving teachers, we were moving anything we could during this COVID thing, which brings up the second part of mine, and I don't really know when this would go in, that our assistants that did this subbing, and this is probably not the right time to say this, is it, about bringing up that we need to go back to our assistants who filled in as teachers to equal that to at least a sub, or if they were past the substitute pay,
To clarify,
then they could move up, that they could get a bonus or whatever. And I don't know when that would be appropriate. It's not on the list anywhere, and I didn't call to put that on, so I don't know. But since we're talking about resident substitutes, and
right,
we don't have enough subs, and since we did have to use the assistants, I think they should have been compensated.
to clarify, let's say we've got assistants in the classroom. Teacher is out, we can't find the substitute, so we plug in that assistant in that teacher substitute slot.
Who doesn't make what a substitute would have made.
They're doing the substitute duties, but only getting reimbursed their assistant pay. So that's something that I think we need to take a look at.
Right.
There may be, and
And in some instances, just so you know, our rates are, correct me if I'm wrong, Melissa, but let's say they're 65, 75, 85 for our 3 tiers for substitutes. There may be assistants that already exceed that substitute amount for that day's worth of work. It just depends on where they're at on the salary scale and what they're doing. But I hear what you're saying. If we're asking them to step up and cover a class, then we can look at appropriate compensation. There is no mechanism right now, Melissa, is there for adjusting that on a timesheet right now, but it doesn't mean we can't look at it for moving forward.
okay. And they can't be paid both, that's double dip.
Correct.
Correct. It would be one or the other depending on their assignment for the day.
Okay, so was that in the form of a motion?
Yeah,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
We got a motion, we have a second, any further discussion? This is on the proposal for resident substitutes. With no further discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, the motion passes.